I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Mazars USA, Trump's longtime accounting firm, which cut ties with him last year, has begun turning over troves of financial records that it had maintained of its business dealings with Donald Trump while it was his accounting firm to the House Oversight Committee. The House Oversight Committee has been seeking these records for quite some time, in fact, going all the way up to the United States Supreme Court, who eventually ruled in the favor of the House Oversight Committee. Trump tried to block in every level Mazars USA from giving over the financial records to the House Oversight Committee. But this is the first committee that is going to actually have access to these financial records. And we're learning from a report from the New York Times this past weekend that Mazars has begun the process of turning over the records. Now, which records are we talking about? We're talking about Trump's financial dealings from 2014 to 2018. And specifically, the documents include any documents that indicate any false or undisclosed information about Mr. Trump's assets, income, or liabilities, communications related to any potential concerns that financial information provided by Mr. Trump's companies was inaccurate, documents from November 26th to 2018 related to the old post office building, a federal property in Washington that Mr. Trump's company converted into a hotel through a lease deal, which was also one of the staging areas for January 6th. And it was also used throughout Trump's tenure by foreign governments to influence policy and try to violate the emoluments clause by spending lots of money there, as Trump would rack up the rates or hike the rates to try to make more money using his position. In addition, there is documents from 2017 and 2018 related to relationships between Mr. Trump's businesses and foreign states. So this is big news, according to Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney, the chairwoman of the Oversight Committee. She says, quote, "These documents will inform the committee's efforts to get to the bottom of former President Trump's egregious conduct and ensure that future presidents do not abuse their positions of power for personal gain." And of course, the Oversight Committee, in addition to investigating Trump's financial malfeasance, which they now have these records. And by the way, these records are going to come in on a rolling basis, but the first tranche of documents has arrived at the committee. We are learning as of this past weekend. But the Oversight Committee, recall, is also the committee that's been working with the National Archives to identify the top secret documents, the classified records, the sensitive compartmented information, and other government records that Donald Trump stole when he left the White House. This is what Carolyn Maloney, Congresswoman Maloney, said regarding some of the classified records as well. She said, "Some of the most classified information, we still don't even know where it is. Right now, we don't know how much is still out there." And this comes even, of course, after the Department of Justice executed the search warrant on Mar-a-Lago on August 8th. And we've seen from the filings by the Department of Justice that one of the main reasons they need access to these classified records immediately, which Eileen Cannon, the judge who was appointed by Trump, is blocking, and one of the reasons that the Justice Department says it's going to cause irreparable harm if we, the executive branch, don't have access to our own classified records, is because they believe that there are other classified records that are still out there, and they need to use the existing records to investigate what's out there. Did Trump give these records to anyone? And what's the national security fallout from that? And the FBI, which is part of the intelligence community, needs to continue to conduct its investigations, and Judge Eileen Cannon is currently blocking that. So Big news right here to report that the House Oversight Committee has finally got their hands after a 4-year battle that rose all the way up to the Supreme Court. They got these financial records. That's incredibly important. And you'll also remember that Mazars, in connection with this whole process, had sent a letter about a year ago or so disclaiming any of the advice that they had given or the accuracy of the records. They put out a statement and they wrote a letter publicly to the Oversight Committee in connection with this process that said the financial records that we prepared with Trump cannot be trusted. And they said that based on the fact that the information that they were given, they believe to be inaccurate, and they believe that people should not rely on any of the financials that they prepared. So those categories I mentioned earlier about Trump's dealings with foreign countries, Trump's potential violations of the emolument clause, Trump's self-dealing, inaccurate financials, concerns by Mazars that there was inflated valuations. All of that is now going to be turned over to the House Oversight Committee. Carolyn Maloney, the chairwoman, has announced big news right there. We'll keep you updated with more information as it becomes available. For now, I'm Ben Meiselas for the MeidasTouch Network. Make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. Hit the subscribe button right now. Join the Meidas Mighty. And we also got a Patreon account at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Go there if you want to support independent media and check out the different membership tiers. I'm Ben Meiselas. Until next time.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs, It Wasn't Rigged, You're Just a Loser, at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.